Hello guys, this is Astrozoid bringing you another video, and today we're just going to hop right into quite a longer video, so just hang in with me guys. So what we have is, we're on defense on Noombody. So basically we're just going to, for this game, we're just going to be focusing on what I can be getting better at with who I play, which is Ryan obviously, as you can see, and what to work on, what not to do, what to do, so you guys can also get a little feel for how to play better. So starting up, we obviously we're on defense, so preferably I like defense to start with, because then I can see kind of how far we have to push, as opposed to how far we have pushed, and then to see like, oh, we need to stop them here. Kind of gives me more of a idea of what we need to do. So we should be holding up on the high ground. As you can see, that's where I'm going, because the advantages to being on the high ground is, I mean, you're up here across from me where I'm kind of looking at to the left over there. If they go up there, you can still see them. If they go behind you, you can still see them on that right side, all the way to the far right. If they go below you, honestly, going below is probably the best way to go on attack, and we'll get to that. Because when you go down below, the people above you, they don't have a chance to shoot you until you're already on the point, and you have a chance to even get a good amount on the point. So it's just kind of a good counter to the high ground holding. So here we have a Winston on defense along with me, Reinhardt, and we're just going to be holding up top. Now the thing is though, the reason why I say to go below is because what you're about to see here, I mean, no spoilers, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. Most people are like, oh, let's go attack up top now. In bronze and silver, it's more of let's attack down middle, but here in gold and above, it's usually like, oh, let's attack through the top. But you'll notice that people are used to people attacking up top, so there's really no point doing that. So right here, this is just a bad position, so I'm just going to charge right in and get a good kill. So we got 2 versus 1. It's pretty good. Things to be working on though, definitely making sure that when you're Reinhardt, making sure that you're aware of what's going on behind you, because if your healer is dying behind you, like it was there because Roadhog killed her, you definitely want to be aware of that. So here we have ult. This is definitely a little too far considering the rest of the team isn't here. There is a Winston, but he's about to die. So just time to back up. That's good. That's not bad. It is good to push out when you have the chance to get another pick to stagger. However, this is not the case. So backing up, we got a few people up top. So now they have the high ground. This is not where you go. This is not the time to go up and engage on the high ground. This is the time to stay and let them come to you. Because now I'm kind of behind them, and the ult was kind of a waste, but overall the team was able to push them out, so it's okay. Should not have ulted there, to be honest, and if I had, then it should have been a lot better. So now this is what I'm talking about, where you push out to get another pick. Ryan is now dead, however, I am also very low. Got very lucky there that I had a good healer. Again, this is another time to go out and get a pick. So as you can see here, we've now staggered them to 5v6, and they have to wait. So that's why holding on the high ground is pretty effective. Now they've just rezzed. The only thing about this res though is that they're not actually on point, so it's kind of a trade-off. So now it's just a reset of everything, and it's not really going to change anything. Reaper's fading through. He has no support on him though, so technically people should be focusing down. Definitely calling out that the shield is about to go down. That would be a great idea. And so now you can see they're jumping on point, so I'm going to jump down, obviously. Great idea, and this is a good time to ult. There it is, and perfect wipe. So just kind of keeping an eye, if you're playing Reinhardt, just keeping an eye on when to ult, when not to ult. When the other team does not have a Reinhardt, perfect time to ult right there. And so it's time to go to the high ground, regroup, and that's probably the best choice. Now, they do have a Reaper to counter the Winston. However, tip to you guys, Reaper does not automatically counter the Winston. Just because somebody has a Winston does not mean you say, okay, let's get a Reaper to counter Winston, and then you're automatically safe. You have to have a good Reaper. Like, that is not a good Reaper. Yes, he killed the Mercy, but he just solo ulted her, and so he didn't actually get anyone with it. Now, the one good thing about it is that she would not be able to res. I mean, it's arguable. You could debate whether or not it was a good ult. But yes, so just keep in mind that just because you have a good Reaper, just because you have a Reaper does not mean he's going to be good enough to kill a Winston. Just like Soldier and McCree do not counter Pharah. That's a little news flash to some of you who might not actually know that, because Soldier does. I mean, unless you get like all headshots, you're not gonna kill the Pharah with a Soldier unless you constantly pester her. And so, excuse me. And so, just remembering that, just keep that in mind, that you need to make sure you have the right counters. So Reaper is on me with the Discord. Now he's in the back. Obviously, you should be calling that out. But he's gonna kill. He's getting a lot of kills, and that's mainly because no one's actually focusing down. But nothing I can do about that because he will kill me pretty easily if I try to swing my hammer. And so we just kind of have to... This is the point where you back up. Right here. You just got to stick with the team. Preferably we stick with the Reinhardt because he has the shield to protect you. Usually, if you hold at the proper area, which is kind of closer to their spawn, for like a minute or more, if you hold there, then by the time your team gets wiped, you should be able to hold again within the same point. And what I mean by that is they're about to get to their second objective, or their second capture point. I don't know what it's called, but yes, they're about to get to their second objective, and that's the situation you want to hold in. Unfortunately, Reaper got the surprise ult and wiped 3 people, so excuse me, my throat. So now what you want to do is just kind of hold at that choke point up at the bridge, which you can we're still there, able to do that. So you want to hold in this area because you can see the staircase and any flanking opportunities, and then you kind of just want to just stay here and be careful. Pharah's ulting again, of course, and this is what I'm saying, like, we don't have a Pharah counter, so for some reason Pharah died to the Reaper's ult, but whatever. But this is the kind of point where if your comp isn't going to work, you gotta play it safe. Excuse me. So, I'm having a lot of issues right now. So, here you can see we're kind of still getting pushed back, and this is kind of, it's not good at all. And so, you want to make sure that you are being safe. Now that the Rhine is down, they're kind of being over-aggressive. So it's a good time to ult there, just to push them out. That's really what you want to do. You just want to get them out of there so that not being a threat. And there you go. So, we just barely held the point. It's within 5 meters. So this is the kind of area... Lucio just wasted his ult, unfortunately. But this is the kind of area where you just want to just be calm and just save your ults up, because they're very close to getting to the point. And so if you get off the point too much, then you're gonna die like that. So Lucio's down. That happened. Alright, so here we are, just waiting. So Reinhardt's by himself. This is where you want to engage on the Reinhardt. Or not. Someone's got to get him. He's still alone. What's up? Roadhog's ulting, I believe. Okay, yeah, so we're getting pushed back. This is where you just want to stay back. Okay, and keep in mind, the only time you want to 1v1 a Rhine is when you have more health than him. Don't 1v1 a Rhine when they have more health than you, because chances are you're going to die. If both of you have charged each other and you're about to ult, if you're about to start swinging, make sure he doesn't have ult, first of all. Just trying to juke him out. That's kind of how most Rhine battles work. So Rhine's in the back lines, so this is the perfect time to ult. And then now you want to just make sure your team's there to follow up. However, they are not, and now they're going to get the point. So that's kind of just unlucky. Pharah keeps ulting, but again, the main reason why Pharah kept doing so much was because there was no quote counter to her. Yes, there is no counter, but a Soldier or a McCree can put pressure on them. Even a Diva should be able to get in her face and just kind of push her back. But nothing you can do about that. What's done is done. So here we are, just chilling. Trying to make... The important thing is to make sure that you're picking heroes that will combo each other very well, to ensure that you're making the best ultimate choices. Like a Reaper and a Zarya, that's a great choice. Even a Junkrat and the Zarya is a great choice. Winston can get in there and kind of just be the initiative tank while Zarya bubbles him. And so I'd say a Lucio would probably be the preferred choice here. We'll see what they go. once I hit tab again. There we go, Lucio. So now that you have this, it's important to just keep in mind, like, hey, we have a slight dive comp. Just want to make sure that I mean, if you're gonna run this kind of comp, don't just stand at the choke. You don't have the ability to stand at the choke or stand just like sitting there because you don't have a Ryan, you don't have an Orisa, you don't have some kind of big shield to keep you. Winston has a 1,000 health shield and then it's done. It goes down pretty quick. So you can't really just stand there at the choke. You got to push in really quickly. Zarya bubbles the Winston as he's landing, and then Lucio just speed boosts everyone in while Winston's jumping in. I mean, that's the perfect way to dive. We have a McCree, so that's not too bad with the hit scan. I don't know why we have a Junkrat. Junkrat's... Okay. It's a common misconception that he's bad on attack. Junkrat's not bad on attack. The thing is, though, that he's not as reliable. You can play a good Junkrat and win and do really well on attack. However, it's not as likely due to the fact that you're kind of just alone. You don't really... It's not like you can stand behind your team as easily. They can still hunt you down. So, and I missed the bubble on the Winston who I was trying to get, but that's okay. So now is where you want to drop down. You don't want to stay up there too long. They have a Bastion. No, sorry. Yes, so we're on the high ground in like 3 different spots. However, nobody's really pushing on a point. So the Bastion just killed the Winston. So now we've lost 3 people. This is the time to get out. However, I'm going in for some reason. So that was a bad idea. Keep in mind, though, if your team's getting wiped and you kind of just can't get out, just go ahead and jump off a cliff or just let yourself die. Don't try to survive too much longer, because if you try to survive, you're just going to stagger your team. So as you can see here, we're still on the point for some reason, somehow, I don't know how. But this is not the time to engage, just because we were on the point. Now I'm probably time to back out. Just get out. Get out. There you go. So, okay, while this game is going, I want to just talk about one thing real quick. So, when you have a team in competitive, especially in the lower league, then you notice, I've realized, I mean, there's so many people that just don't group up. And the problem is that in people's minds, they think, okay, we need to get on the point now. We only have a minute and a half. We only have 2 minutes. We got to go now. But if you're one of those people who think that, it's... Alright, just ignore that. Ignore that. Just shh. So if you're one of those people, as I'm dying off a cliff, if you're one of those people that has the mindset of, we need to get on the point, hurry up, let's go, you need to end that mindset, because the problem is, you're not grouping up with your team, and the best way to play this game is to go in there in the very beginning, dive on, get the point. If you don't get the point and you all die, just do the exact same thing again. Go for a different spot, maybe. Because going in with 5 or 4 people, or getting yourself picked, I mean, you don't have to, like right where I am right now, I don't need to be there. However, we're pushing in, so now's the time to just go in. Because Zenyatta is rezzed, it's a 6v6 still, so right here, where we're just standing here, there's no point. So we got another pick, so now we're going to go in again. And that's the thing, that's the common misconception. Whoa there. That's the common misconception, that you need a pick before you go in. I do this a lot myself, and I kind of just wait until I get a pick before I go. But that's not how the game works. You just gotta go in. If you go in, the chances of you getting a kill are a lot higher than if you just stand there with your shield up, or stand there just trying to poke at the choke. Because that was a nice fire strike, by the way. But, yes, if you just constantly just stand there and you're like, oh, we gotta get a pick, or oh, I'm waiting, you're not gonna do what you need to do. You gotta get in there right away. If you fail the first attack, you only wasted 30 seconds, as opposed to standing there at the choke for about 45 seconds to a minute, and then you finally go in. The outcome is a lot better if you just charge in, because you're either not gonna get the point, or you're gonna get the point real quick. So you just got to keep constantly going in as a 6-man. And that's why 6 stacks tend to do a lot better, because you can kind of combo your ults, you can coordinate, and usually you know each other pretty well. So you can kind of just go off of that with your trust and stuff like that. But on payload maps, you want to make sure that you have your DPS pushing out. Really, any DPS can do it. Except I would say McCree. Don't push out with McCree though, unless you know where their squishies are. But I'd suggest definitely like this right now. Pushing out with your squishies is a great idea because, as you can see here, we already have taken out 2 people, almost a third. So we've killed 4 people, and we've just taken the next point. So, almost at least. So pushing out with your team, as long as you push out with 3 or less people, and you can start getting picks with the rest on the rest of the team. Well, with them, that is. I can't speak today. If you push out with 3 people, then the chances of you getting a kill are really high, and you want to just kind of keep the rest of the team back so that they don't push onto the cart. Because the last thing you want is the enemy team to have their ults and just charge onto the point and get you off the point. Because you have momentum when you have the payload. When you're not on the payload, you have to fight to get on it. And the reason why most people have so much trouble getting that final point or getting that next objective and they're so close is because of the fact that they lost their momentum and now they're struggling to get on a point. However, as you can see here, the enemy team is finally trying to push on, but as the Zen goes down, I believe he gets rezzed.
I'm going. Get the Mercy. She's low.
Never mind. So, as you can see here, we still have the momentum. We still are on the cart. There's a difference between pushing onto the cart and being pushed off the cart and then... there's a difference between pushing onto the cart and being on the cart and keep pushing. So as you can see here, we're losing our momentum because we're losing people. And on defense, it's important to get as many picks as possible because even though you might lose 2 people and you kill 1, you've basically killed 2 people because they have to travel 3, 4, 5 times as far as you to get to the point. So it really just depends. So now you can see we're kind of struggling. Now we have to get on the payload, and that's the harder part than if you're on the payload already. So we pushed it pretty far, but now we've lost our momentum. So we basically have to just be really aggressive, get in there, like I'm doing right now. The Rhine is back. The Tracer should be in the back lines. I think she is right there. So now we're kind of killing people, but we kind of just got picked off. There's a difference between flanking and getting split. When you're flanking, it's maybe 1 or 2 people in the back lines doing damage, actually getting kills. If you're split, that means that you've got 2 or 3 people in the back lines, but they're not actually getting killed. They're not getting kills. They're actually getting killed. And that's important to make sure that you're not doing that. You want to make sure you're flanking, not splitting. So here we are again, trying to get the point again. Obviously, the first time did not work. They did use a few ults, though. So a lot of people get ult happy, and so that's actually a big problem. When you go in to get a point, if you have a Mercy, don't use any ults. Just go in there raw, see how many kills you can get, and go with it. So as you can see there, I got a 4-man ult. We got a kill off of it, but I just got saved by that Pharah. But you want to make sure that you're not getting ult happy, where you're constantly everybody's using their ults on the first charge, and then it's kind of just like a raw go in. You want to do the raw attack right away, so that you can wipe out, or you can either wipe out you want to wipe out as many ults as you can from the enemy team on attack. That's really the primary goal of playing this objective game mode. And so if you wipe out like 2 enemy ults, they're down 2 enemy ults. You might have 2, but they're down even more. So it's just an advantage game. You want to have the numbers. You want to have the numbers in ults, the numbers in people. You want to be ahead in as many things as you can. So as you can see here, Zen pops ult to try to distract or try to hold the point. So obviously I pin the Zen, get him, boom, done. Now you want to come in and ult, and then hopefully take the point here. So this is kind of the area where you know that you're about to get the point when the rest of the team is kind of just all over the place. Again, that's why you want to make sure you have the numbers. If you have the numbers, you're good. So that was a good play there, and that's going to wrap up that round. However, it's a 3-3 now. So we have to do a whole nother round. That's why I told you guys this was a long video. I think there's only a few more minutes left, so hang in with me. So, as I move in my chair, my squeaky little chair. So, 3-3, pretty even time. They have a little more time than us. We are on attack first. So, Going through the 1 minute attack left, everybody knows that feeling when they have 1 minute to get on the point and they're like, oh my gosh, what do we do? The best option is to go dive comp. That's literally the best option you can do. However, dive comps come in different sizes and shapes and colors. I mean, you can dive with plenty of people. You can dive with a Reinhardt. You can dive with a Winston. You can dive with a... I mean, there's plenty of combos. Zarya, I would honestly have on pretty much any dive comp, as well as a Mercy and a Lucio. You can interchange the Mercy and the Ana, as well as a Tracer or a Genji. And your second DPS can be some kind of hit scan like a soldier. And you want to make sure your two tanks are either like a Winston Zarya, a Ryan Zarya. You can go Roadhog, even Roadhog Zarya, I guess. But you want to make, because Roadhog gets a pick. So if you get a pick with a Roadhog, it's 5v6, you're kind of still diving. But Zarya, it's pretty important to have on a dive. This is obviously not a dive comp, but it's, I mean, you got four of the, well, you got, no, it is a dive comp. Alright, we're good. The only problem is Lucio did just speed boost us to the, I believe he just speed boosted to the point, not into the point. So Reinhardt just killed me, so I was unlucky. But as you can see, it's a 4v6. Time to get out. But as you're seeing right now, no one's getting out. The problem with this is dive comps only work when you go in with all 6 people. So when a dive comp doesn't work and people are like, oh my gosh, what just happened? The reason why is because you didn't group up. They have a Widow on defense, and she's obviously not doing too much yet. She did kill Tracer. So now it's a 5v6 again. We're down in numbers again, but we have to go on. So if we had actually dove on as a team and not gotten picked, so now it's a 5v5, or 5v4, sorry. Mercy's low. It's a 4v4, 4v3, and now it's a some v some. I don't even know anymore. But as you can see, it's very important to go in as a group. So we have the numbers advantage just because we actually were able to kind of maneuver them down in health. They're kind of trying to come back. But when you're on a dive comp, you want to make sure you have as many people as possible when you're diving in. You could have 20 seconds left and still regroup. It's okay. Because no matter what, the round's going to end in overtime unless you kill them real quick. So, as you can see here, it's pretty much guaranteed that we've gotten the point, especially with Mercy dead now. But yes, just make sure, if you're going to play dive comp, don't do it unless you know the heroes. I mean, I could have gone Winston, I could have gone something else. But it's really just about playing who you're comfortable with. If you can dive in with any team comp as long as you're diving in. That's the whole reason it's called dive comp. Because if you're just sitting there at the choke with a, quote, dive comp, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there getting killed, and you're not going to win. So, pushing the payload, you want to make sure DPS can go out and do some flanking. Just make sure they have to make sure they're safe with it. Reinhardt and the other tank can probably stay on the point, in a little bit in front of it. Possibly behind it, though. It's also a good strategy to stay behind the point, too. But it really just depends on what the other team is doing. If the team's really aggressive, you can stay back. So,
Stay on.
I was yawning, sorry. So you can see we're in overtime. So we don't have time to get off the cart. Unfortunately, we do. So that was unfortunate. There was a Reaper behind. I do remember playing this game, and I remember I was calling out, look, Reaper's behind, and then the team kind of just ignored me. So make sure that you're kind of paying attention to what's going on. Like I said earlier in this video, Reinhardt it's important when you're playing a tank, especially Reinhardt, to make sure what's going on behind you. I saw the Reaper. I still remember thinking at that time, I should have charged him. But I didn't, because I wanted to stay with the team. But it might have actually been beneficial to charge him. But that's okay. So now we have to defend. They have 1:35. Don't forget, guys, when you're playing this game mode, they don't get extra time if they get the point. So stay on the point as long as you can. Because as long as you're still as a team, then just keep holding. Because if they're in overtime and they're about to get the point, just give them the point. It's not a big difference. If you give them the point and let them walk it a little bit before you then aggress, before you press on to them, I guess. Just make sure that your team's grouped up before you go in if they're in overtime. Because all you have to do is get the team off the cart. You don't even have to kill the entire team. You just have to get them off the cart. So in these instances, wow, I cannot talk today. In these instances, like I was saying, I said a little bit a few minutes ago, make sure that you have the proper comp. So we have a Torb, which is not bad. It's not bad. We have a Diva. She's one of the best characters to play in this instance when you have to get the people off the point. When they're in overtime and they're trying to stay on point, throwing a Diva on the point can actually win you the game because they will have to scatter because they can't just stand on the point because they will die. So we already got 2 picks on their dive comp, and so they kind of have to regroup. Are they go? No. So McCree goes down, and then the Reaper is still here, and he stays up top. He should have gotten out, but he doesn't. So he's down, staggering even more. So now they just wasted 30 seconds trying to push in when they didn't even do anything. So here we are again. They're still not grouped up. And the problem is that people are so focused on poking at the choke. And I don't understand it, guys. I just don't. You're not doing anything. Good for you. You got a few hits. But it's better to just go in. You'll get your ult so much faster if you just charge in there with your team and just start swinging your hammer or shooting your gun, doing anything. You get so much more ult when you just push in. So as you can see, they're pushing in because they're like, oh, we need to go. We need to go. But as you can see, it's kind of working. It's not too bad. But then Mercy reses, and it gives us an advantage. So, Reinhardt is all by himself. So he's about to go down. Winston's about to go down. So now the soldier is ulting, I believe. Yeah, he's ulting. And it's just kind of back and forth mess. But overall, we have the advantage because they didn't push in early on. They could have had 2 pushes, but they only actually gave themselves 1. So that's going to be game, guys. Please leave a like down below if you like these kinds of games where it's full of information helping you guys be a better gamer, not just a certain hero in general. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these videos, more of any kind of videos. I'm going to try to start live streaming since it is summer, and I have plenty of time and not in school anymore. And so I hope you guys enjoy that. Keep a lookout, subscribe so that you can see those new videos as they come out after I'm finished live streaming. And I think that's pretty much it. Just leave a comment down below on what you thought of this video. And if you didn't like it, then go ahead and click the dislike button. Just tell me why. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.